Hi Aries, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing wonderful today. This is going to be a general reading for the month of April. This is a Celtic Cross spread plus one oracle card. You got the tiger. I've already cleared all the energy. So I'll just go through each card individually here with you. Let me know if any of this resonates. I hope it does. I hope you get some guidance or insight from these messages. I believe if you've come across this video, you're supposed to receive some of the messages. They should align with you. So we'll start with your first card. You got the Seven of Wands. This card represents your current situation. The message on the card is, I actively hold true to my values. So the Seven of Wands is represented by Leo. This is a card about protectiveness, defending yourself, protecting your territory. It's a card of challenge, discussion, standing up for yourself, negotiations, persevering, maintaining control. It could be a card of taking the high road, holding your own, having a strong will, being defensive, being determined, responsible, demanding, standing up for your beliefs, fighting your corner, stamina, being in a position of advantage, having the upper hand. So yeah, defending your position, standing your ground, improving yourself. So this card is saying that you are currently in a place where you've already achieved something, some kind of advantage, recognition, or progress, but now you're being challenged to hold on to it. Okay, so it can show up in April as facing competition or opposition. So others may be questioning your ideas or your authority or your direction. Maybe you're feeling on guard. There's a sense of needing to constantly protect what you've built. Or it could represent inner resilience. Even if things feel intense, you actually have the upper hand. You just need to remember that, okay? And this fits your natural fire energy. This card is less about backing down and more about choosing your battles wisely. Remember, not every challenge deserves your energy, just the important ones, okay? The Seven of Wands isn't just external, it can also be internal. So maybe you're fighting self-doubt, or you're trying to stay confident under pressure, or you've been pushing through fear of losing momentum. So Aries, stay firm in who you are and what you've built. You may feel tested, but this card says you're in this position for a reason. Hold your ground. Okay, but don't burn yourself out proving something to everyone. And then what's crossing you, or what's challenging you, or your situation, or could be what you're celebrating, is the Eight of Pentacles. And it came out reversed. So when a card comes out reversed, it just means you're getting extra protection from Spirit. The message on the card is, I dedicate myself to what I believe in. See on the bottom there. Maybe you're struggling with that because it came out reversed. This is Virgo energy. So the Eight of Pentacles reversed is about dissatisfaction, feeling a lack of effort, a lack of confidence, a lack of ambition, a lack of focus, a lack of commitment. It could represent a workaholic, perfectionism, being in a dead-end job, developing yourself, self-development. It can be about having no passion, no motivation, lack of motivation, being underqualified, being in a dead-end career. It's a card of laziness, repetitive or boring job, biting off more than you can chew, feeling uninspired, misdirected energy, dissatisfaction. So this in your challenge position, it could point to issues around effort, focus, and craftsmanship. When it comes out upright, it's about dedication, steady improvement. But reversed, it's saying that something in that process is off. Okay? So you're trying to defend your position or prove yourself, but the challenge is feeling like your work isn't good enough, or you're struggling to stay consistent or disciplined, or you're losing you're losing motivation or feeling burned out. Or alternatively, you're putting in effort that isn't being recognized or valued. So it can be a card of burnout or frustration. Maybe you're fighting hard to maintain something, but internally you're thinking, well, what's the point? This is exhausting. So you're defending your ground externally, but internally your drive is slipping. Maybe you have self-doubt about your skills. The challenge could be a lack of confidence in your abilities. Even if you're capable, you may feel like maybe you're not ready, or you need to be better before you can stand here. And this creates friction. You're in a position that requires confidence, but you don't fully trust your skill level. Or this card could indicate misaligned effort. You're working hard, but maybe on the wrong things. You're overworking without real progress, or you're focusing on perfection instead of impact. Or you're not putting in enough effort where it actually counts. So you're in a position worth defending, but something about how you're working, learning, or showing up needs adjustment. It's not telling you to give up. It's saying just refine your approach, reconnect with your purpose, and don't just fight harder, work smarter and more intentionally. Protect your energy just as much as your position. Let go of perfectionism or unproductive habits. Rebuild your confidence through small, consistent actions. And remember, you don't need to prove everything to everyone. Your foundation message is the Ten of Cups reversed. The message on the card is, I have all I wish for in my relationships. Maybe you don't feel like that because it came out reversed. So this card could be about disappointments in relationships or family or emotional goals. Or it could represent a sense that Maybe you're thinking this isn't this isn't the happiness you thought it would be. Or there may be a misalignment between what you imagined versus what you're actually experiencing. This card says there's underlying tension in a home, in a partnership, or a close circle. This doesn't have to mean something is falling apart. It can mean that the ideal version of happiness has been disrupted and now reality is asking to be redefined. So you're defending something, possibly a relationship, a lifestyle, or even your idea of happiness. You may not feel equipped, motivated, or clear on how to fix or improve the situation, because deep down there's emotional dissatisfaction or disconnection driving everything. You're fighting to maintain something that isn't fully emotionally fulfilling anymore, and you may not know how to repair it or whether it's worth the effort. Maybe you're just staying in situations to keep the peace, or you're defending a relationship or path that looks good on the outside but feels off internally. Or maybe you're feeling pressure to make something work because it once represented happiness. This combination can create a kind of inner conflict. Maybe you're saying to yourself, I should be happy, so why am I not? Or I've put so much into this, I can't just walk away. Or I need to hold this together, but you're tired. Aries, you need to be honest about what actually fulfills you, not what's supposed to. Stop over defending things that are draining your emotional well-being. It's okay if your definition of happiness is changing. Not everything needs to be perfect to be real, but it does need to be authentic. Then your fourth card represents your past, but is relevant to your current situation. And you got the Ace of Pentacles. I am always rewarded for all I do is the message on the card. So this card points to a new opportunity that once felt solid, promising, and full of potential. In the past, you likely experienced a fresh start with regards to either a job, a relationship, a living situation, or a financial path. Something that felt stable, real, and worth building. This was a chance to create long-term security or happiness. This wasn't just a random beginning. It was something you believed in and saw real value in. The Ace of Pentacles. Let me just think about something for a second here. The Ten of Cups. Your foundation message, Aries. Pisces energy. There's some kind of domestic conflict, separation, family secrets, an unhappy home, struggling relationships. There are misaligned values, isolation, a broken family, shattered dreams. For some of you, it's not wanting marriage or not wanting children. It could represent infertility, miscarriage, losing your home, divorce, rocky relationships, keeping up with appearances, an unhappy family life, a dysfunctional family, a lack of security, a lack of stability, a lack of teamwork, neglect. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles in your past, in the past position. This is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. New opportunities, resources, abundance, prosperity, security, a new financial or career opportunity, a new beginning, abundance, success, investments, potential. It's the promise of wealth, a new job, building on firm foundations. It's stability, a new venture, using your resources wisely, good physical health. It's the beginning of all things. You have a chance to create long-term security or happiness. This was a genuine opportunity. A genuine opportunity was offered, something that looked like it could grow into stability and happiness, but over time, that dream didn't fully turn into emotional fulfillment as you expected. And now you're in a position of defending or holding on to that investment. You're struggling with how to keep building it or questioning whether the effort is paying off. You started something that felt right, and now you're asking yourself, why doesn't it feel right anymore? You're holding on tightly because you thought that it had so much potential. You put real time and energy into it, and you don't want to lose what you started. But this spirit is asking you, are you defending the reality of the situation or the promise it once had? The Ace of Pentacles is genuine. It means the opportunity was real. Nothing here says you made a mistake. Not every good beginning turns into lasting fulfillment. Growth sometimes requires adjustment, not just persistence. You don't need to abandon everything, but you do need to reassess what this opportunity has actually become and decide if it still aligns with your values and happiness. You need to shift how you're investing your energy instead of pushing harder. Maybe ask yourself, do you keep fighting for this, or do you redefine what success and happiness looks like for you? And then your immediate future card, what's likely to happen very soon in your life, is the Page of Cups. I am as young as I choose to feel. So this is either you, someone in your life, or a situation, male or female, in a general reading, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. So this card is all about, it's about, pages are messengers, so you could be receiving a message. The Page of Cups is someone, it's a happy message that you could be receiving. You could be receiving a proposal, an offer. The Page of Cups, you might be in for a happy surprise. This is someone who's going in a new direction, becoming emotionally mature. It could represent a new romance or a close friend, a creative opportunity. It could represent receiving intuitive messages, being courageous. This is someone who's sensitive. It could represent your inner child, someone who's innocent. It's a card of innocence, a daydreamer, someone who has their head in the clouds, is naive, very sensitive. Page of Cups represents youthfulness, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. Could represent a marriage, an engagement, a birth, a new emotional opportunity, maybe a fresh connection, a message, or insight that touches your heart. It could be a creative spark, ideas or inspiration that feel exciting and genuine. It could be a gentle nudge to listen to your feelings, your intuition, your dreams, or subtle messages. And I just pulled a daily card, and it was the mystic that came out, if you want to listen to that, because that's what that message is all about too. Listening to your intuition, listening to the messages, dreams. So this card is saying something emotionally positive could appear unexpectedly soon, very soon. Or there may be a chance to approach a situation with curiosity instead of defense. Or a message, a gesture, or small breakthrough could shift how you feel about what you've been defending. So the Ace of Pentacles is about a strong, tangible opportunity that began. The Ten of Cups reversed is about emotional fulfillment that hasn't fully materialized. The Seven of Wands is about you defending what you built or achieved. The Eight of Pentacles reversed is about motivation, effort, or clarity that may be lagging. And then the Page of Cups is about something new and emotionally refreshing that's on the horizon. So the Page of Cups suggests that instead of continuing to grit your teeth and defend yourself, you could benefit from being open and curious. A small emotional shift or insight may show you a new way to engage. Maybe even a lighter, more playful or creative approach to the challenges that you've been facing. Just be receptive to small gestures or messages or even ideas. They may point you to the next step. Approach your situation with a curious mind, with curiosity instead of defensiveness. Let yourself feel and express emotions rather than suppressing them. And stay open to the possibilities that might revive emotional satisfaction. And then the outcome that you desire most in your situation is the Four of Cups reversed. The message on the card is, I listen to my heart and follow my knowing. Okay, so extra protection from Spirit since it came out reversed. The Four of Cups is represented by Cancer in the zodiac. So you're checking in for alignment. You're choosing happiness. This is a card of sudden awareness, acceptance, clarity, gratitude. It's a card of self-awareness, focusing on the positive, seizing opportunities, letting go of regret, feeling motivated, re-energized, enthusiastic. It could represent the end of stagnation, being proactive. But it's also a card of ignorance, negativity, withdrawal, retreating, and depression. So, upright, the Four of Cups is about boredom, dissatisfaction, or ignoring opportunities. And reversed, it represents awakening and receptivity. So it's saying that you're ready to see opportunities that you were previously overlooking. You're opening up emotionally. You're willing to accept help, love, or new experiences. A sense of emotional renewal or clarity is arriving. So the energy is moving away from feeling stuck or disheartened. There's a shift in perspective that allows you to finally take action. Okay. This is a turning point in the reading. So there's been a renewal of emotional perspective, an embracing of opportunities that were previously ignored or dismissed. You're letting go of defensive energy and you are redirecting your effort more wisely. And there's the possibility to realign with happiness in a way that feels authentic, even if it doesn't match the original ideal of the Ten of Cups. Your emotional landscape is shifting from defensiveness and frustration to curiosity, openness, and a willingness to embrace what life is actually offering. And then your self-image card, how you see yourself. You have the Wheel of Fortune. This is a major arcana card. I trust whatever the universe brings me is the message on the card. So this is how you see yourself, okay? Your self-image. This is about good luck. This card is about good luck, karma, fortune, success, being at a turning point. It's a card of change, inevitable fate, cycles of life cycles, destiny, going in a new direction, upheaval, chance, decisive moments is all represented by the Wheel of Fortune. You see yourself at a turning point. You're aware that life is shifting and things aren't static. You're experiencing ups and downs. You're conscious of how circumstances can change quickly. You're in the flow of fate. You may feel like you're reacting to forces beyond your control, for better or worse. And you're open to change, growth, and new cycles. There's a sense of adaptability or readiness to embrace what's next. You've been defending something. You've been feeling frustrated or misaligned. And now you're approaching a new phase. You may acknowledge that life is unpredictable, which could be why you're able to stay open to emotional insights and new possibilities. You see yourself as part of a larger cycle. Things rise and fall, opportunities come and go, and you're willing to ride that wave. There may be a sense of trust or resignation in fate, which helps you release control over battles that aren't worth fighting. The Wheel of Fortune gives the reading a hopeful, empowered lens. You may feel like you're not just at the mercy of circumstances. You're a part of the cycle that allows growth, learning, and eventual emotional satisfaction. And then your environment, or how others see you in your situation, is the Knight of Cups, reversed, male or female, in a general reading. The message on the card is, I know that the right person waits until I am ready. Okay, so this is Pisces energy. This is the Knight of Cups. Could be someone who is avoiding confrontation. It can represent unrequited love, deception, fraud, avoiding conflict, someone who has tantrums. It's a card of moodiness, disappointment, procrastination, jumping to conclusions, having an overactive imagination, being unrealistic, jealous, a manipulator. It could represent bad news, revoked offers or proposals. Someone from the LGBTQ community. So this card represents your environment or how others see you, and this card usually points to mixed or inconsistent support. So people around you may be unreliable, emotionally unpredictable, or sending mixed signals. It could represent overly dramatic or idealistic behavior. Others could be exaggerating emotions or creating confusion. There's misunderstood intentions. You may feel like others don't get your position or your effort. And there's also blocked or stalled emotional energy. Relationships or colleagues may not be offering the guidance, support, or appreciation that you need. You might be feeling unsupported or misjudged by those around you. Others could misinterpret your defensiveness as stubbornness rather than vigilance. There may be disappointment or frustration with emotional exchanges in your environment. The Knight of Cups suggests that your environment may feel emotionally unstable or unsupportive, but you have inner resilience and awareness to navigate it successfully. Don't rely on external validation. Your insight, curiosity, and adaptability are more important than others' opinions. Be cautious of promises or gestures that seem too good to be true. They may be inconsistent or insincere. Focus on what you can control, emotional clarity and openness. And then your hopes and fears card, what you hope for and or fear the most, is the Queen of Swords reversed. I protect what matters to me is the message on the card. So this is either you, someone in your life, or a situation, male or female, Libra energy. The Queen of Swords is pessimistic, cold-hearted, cruel, bitter, has repressed trauma, is malicious, manipulative, harsh, deceitful, unforgiving, dysfunctional, dependent, can represent an absent mother, someone who's not learning from the past, lacks empathy, is rude, can represent malicious gossip, is spiteful, vindictive, dependent. There's a fear of being misjudged or misunderstood. The Queen of Swords reversed can represent worries about communication breakdowns or that others won't see you clearly. It could represent emotional overwhelm versus clarity. You may hope to gain clarity and decisiveness, but you fear being too blunt, cold, or defensive in the process. There's difficulty setting boundaries. There's a desire to be strong and independent, but also a fear about pushing people away or mishandling relationships. And this card is also about letting go of control. You might hope to navigate situations gracefully, but you fear losing control or being too vulnerable. The Queen of Swords reverse shows that your biggest internal tension is balancing honesty, emotional openness, and boundaries. What you hope for is that you want clarity, truth, and emotional empowerment. What you fear is that you worry about being misunderstood, overbearing, or emotionally reactive. So this card reinforces the message of the Four of Cups reversed and the Page of Cups. This card is saying opportunities and emotional clarity are available, but you need courage and discernment to engage without fear. And then your last card is the High Priestess. My intuition guides me to the truth is the message on the card. But you might not be following it at this time since it came out reversed. So the 10th card represents the outcome if all is to remain as is. The High Priestess, Major Arcana. This is about repressed intuition, secrets, repressed feelings, withdrawal, silence, a lack of self-belief, withdrawal, lost your inner voice, secrets, superficiality, hidden motives, confusion, blocked psychic powers, unwanted attention, uncontrolled outbursts. You may ignore your inner guidance or fail to trust your gut. There could be misinformation, misunderstandings, or things kept from view, creating confusion. There may be secrets or hidden truths. There may be a disconnect between logic and intuition. There may be overthinking or overanalyzing or pushing too hard without listening inwardly. There may be emotional or mental imbalance. And it could indicate a missed opportunity. Without reflection, clarity, or openness, valuable chances for growth or emotional renewal may be overlooked. Aries, if you keep defending, overthinking, or ignoring your emotional signals, you risk staying stuck, feeling frustrated, or mismanaging situations in April. Ignoring your intuition and inner guidance will lead to confusion, missed opportunities, and continued stagnation. Defend wisely, not stubbornly. The Seven of Wands shows that you have the upper hand, but only if effort is intentional. Reconnect with emotional clarity. The Page of Cups and the Four of Cups reversed. Encourage openness and receptivity. Trust your inner guidance. Ignoring your intuition, the High Priestess reversed, risks stagnation. Set boundaries thoughtfully. The Queen of Swords reversed points to the need for honest communication without fear of being misunderstood. And the Wheel of Fortune reminds you that change is natural and flexibility leads to emotional renewal. Adapt to cycles. And then your animal spirit card is the tiger. This card represents courage and confidence. Tigers are fearless hunters. They teach you to stand firm and defend what matters, which is what the Seven of Wands is saying. Tigers rely on sharp instincts, intuition, and awareness, which contrasts with the High Priestess reversed. It's a warning. You're being reminded to trust your inner voice. Don't ignore subtle guidance. Tigers move with self-reliance and clarity of purpose. They represent independence and leadership. This supports the Wheel of Fortune energy, encouraging you to navigate the change with personal agency. The tiger isn't reckless. It chooses when and how to act. This card, the tiger, represents controlled power. And this ties to the Queen of Swords reversed. It highlights the need for discernment and communication and emotional boundaries. Stand strong, defend your ground, but wisely, like a tiger choosing its battles. Refocus your efforts strategically, not frantically. Be open emotionally, but act with courage and instinct. And don't let unreliable or inconsistent influences deter you. Trust your own sense of timing. The tiger reminds you not to ignore inner guidance. Your intuition is your true compass. The tiger calls you to own your power, trust your instincts, and move with courage and focus. Even amid emotional confusion or external inconsistency, you have the strength to navigate April successfully if you act with awareness and determination. So that is your reading, Aries. Let me know how it goes. I hope you received some guidance or insight with those messages today. Thank you so much for letting me channel them. I'm sending you lots of love and strength, and I'll see you next time. Bye.